Hey, what's up, guys? So I went to Home Depot and I was shopping for a snow shovel, and somehow I came across this Quartz infrared heater. I think it would be perfect as a space heater for my room. And if you've watched my previous videos, you probably saw me doing a comparison of two ceramic heaters for your house. And I actually have one right here. So if you haven't, feel free to go check out my review of this Lasco Motion Heat Plus, or whatever it's called. So this is a ceramic heater. After the review comparing two of those ceramic heaters, I've kept this one. And now, the problem with that ceramic heater is it's not as efficient when it comes to spot heating. So I really want to have just my foot is really cold, and I want a spot heater to just keep my foot nice and warm, like when I'm in front of the computer doing editing work and things like that. So I was hoping that a Quartz infrared heater would actually do this kind of job better, because the ceramic heater is really good for heating up the small rooms, and those Quartz heaters are really good at spot heating. So that's what I want to try to find out, and let's open up the packaging. So this is only $39, so very affordable, and it says it's designed for like a medium-sized room, which by medium they say around 200 to 300 square foot. Now usually with their marketing claims, there's always a little bit of play in that, so if they say 200 to 300, it probably works best, in a room probably 150 square foot in size. But I really have to use this to find out. So at the end of the video, again, I will come back and give you guys a conclusion on whether this heater works good or not. And if it doesn't work good, I'm just gonna go back to Home Depot and return. Okay, so this is a brand called Lifesmart. It's carried in Home Depot. This is a medium-sized heater. They also have a large-size heater for $80. This one, again, is $39. Okay, so seems to be a space heater because just judging by the size. Okay, and this thing is very, very plasticky. It's entirely plastic, I think. Yeah. And the very good thing is, for $39 you get this heater and you get a remote control, which I think a lot of people would find really helpful, especially if you're laying on a bed, you want to turn off the heater, and this remote control would do just that. Okay, so got some instructional manual in here and a remote control, but I think this is a space heater. We should just turn it on and give it a first spin and see whether it works or not. The remote does not come with battery. Looks like I have to put two AAA size batteries in here. And the heater itself, it's got a fan, so it's gonna blow the heat generated by the Quartz infrared tubes in there. When it heats up, it turns red, so it's glowing. And this little fan is gonna spin and send the air into the front of the heater. So again, the exterior is plastic, and they advertise this as cool touch. So it's not gonna get as hot to your touch on the exterior part, but the internal, I'm sure it's gonna get pretty hot, okay, when you heat it up, okay? Now this thing is not as smart in terms of, overheat protection, because again, the thing glows and it might catch fire if you don't handle it well. That's why there's a big sign on the top that says do not cover. Okay, if you cover this, it's gonna overheat, it's gonna catch on fire. In comparison, this ceramic heater is extremely safe. It's got all different kinds of overheat protection. It's got trip protection, so there's no way that this thing is gonna catch on fire. Okay, if you have a cover on front, it's gonna overheat and it's gonna turn itself off. However, with those Quartz infrared heaters, it's a little more dangerous if you are less, if you don't pay attention, it might catch on fire. So that's one of the downside with those quartz heaters. However, the plus side is they also generate a very warm, nice, concentrated heat in the spot that you need most. Now, as you can see, it comes with a cord. The cord is not very long, it's only 6 foot. Yeah. So, and they say never use a extension cord with those heaters because it draws, I think, 12 amps of power. So if you do want to use the extension cord, make sure the extension cord is rated for higher amps for the distance of the cord. Okay, so just be really careful. It's best to only plug this directly onto the wall. Okay, so for me, unfortunately, if I want to test it, I can't reach the wall. So I'm going to use the extension cord temporarily. Okay. All right, guys. So I actually just plugged the heater onto the wall outlet, and once I plugged in, I heard a beep sound. So always appreciate when those kind of appliances have a beeping sound to let you know when the power is connected. Okay, so that's very nice. And there is a standby button on the top. It's red. Right now it's standby. So I'm going to turn on the heater and let's just try to figure out how loud it is and how it operates. On the top, there are a couple buttons. There's a high-low button switch. There is a temperature up and down or time up and down button switch. And there's a timer switch. So the power button is in the middle. Okay, so a couple other things. There's a fan, there's a timer, there's a high and low. So those are the indicators on the top. And I just turned it on. It looks like the red high button is lighted up and the fan just kicked in. It's got a set temperature that says 72 over there, so I would assume this is the automatic temperature set. Okay, so it's also displayed in the front, which is pretty cool. And if I press the up and down button, it actually switches this temperature. I guess that's a room temperature you want to set it to. So it already heats up to that temperature. Let's see what's the lowest it would go. So the lowest temperature you can set is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It's actually got 4 tubes inside, and on the high, 4 tubes all lights up, and on the low, 2 of those tubes in the front lights up. Pretty warm. Again, it's at a very close distance. I'm intended to use this as a space heater, not as a room heater. However, it says it heats up a room size, 200 to 300 square foot. Okay, if you believe that, sure. And in their instructional manual, it says it might take up to 24 hours to heat up a room that's fairly large. I would assume that's probably a 300 square foot room. Okay. Also, they said, like the ceramic heater, this is intended as an assisted heating source. It's not intended to replace your whole room heating source. Okay, so I still have my oil burner, oil furnace that blows the air, not blows the air, but heats up the water and circulates a radiator in my room. This just adds an additional warmth to my foot if my foot is like icy cold. I would say on the warm setting, it's not as hot. Okay, honestly, so on the 750 watt rating, it's not as hot. So the power switch, there are 3 settings. There is a high, there's a low, and there's a fan only mode. Okay, so when I pressed it the third time, it turned into fan only mode, so it was just blowing the air. I guess it works as a small circulating air circulator. So I'm trying the timer button now. So when I press the timer button, it looks like I just need to keep pressing it, and the number, actually, it's cool, it's got 2 displays. This display displays the exact same thing as displayed on the top. So that's pretty neat. It looks like the timer goes up to 12 hours. Also pretty nice. When you finish setting up the time, it goes back to your preset temperature. And unfortunately, it doesn't display the room temperature. So let's see if it's possible to display the room temperature. Yeah. It doesn't display the room temperature, only displays the set temperature, the digital set temperature of this Quartz heater. Okay, so I'm trying to stay at a fairly further distance and try to see if it works. You know, I would say it's the heat is pretty much comparable to the ceramic heater of the same wattage rating at full power. It just doesn't get that warm, or it doesn't get like toasty hot. If that's what you're looking for, it doesn't really get toasty. It does get, you know, lighted up as red, which looks pretty cool. Again, doesn't get toasty. The fan noise is okay, fairly loud, but I don't think it's at a level that you're gonna think it's annoying. So I'm gonna use it for a few days and come back and let you guys know whether I want to keep this together with my ceramic heater, or I want to just return this and only use my ceramic heater. Okay, so see you in the next section of the video. So guess what, guys, after only 1 day of trying this, I've already made my decision to return this Quartz infrared heater back to Home Depot, which is where I bought it. The reason being, compared again with the ceramic heater that I did a review before, the Lasco ceramic heater that had a full tilt and swivel function. This heater, again, it's limited by its lack of tilt and swivel function, because this thing is only able to blow air in one direction only, and it blows the air very low. I wasn't actually expecting a fan in this heater. I was expecting to have a reflective mirror surface that actually redirects the heat onto objects as advertised, because infrared heater, they heat up the objects, they don't really move the air. But in this case, they actually installed a fan to move some sort of warm air into the space, and actually it's not that efficient. So with this on, and again it's 1500 watts, so it's usually all the heaters are 1500 watts. They're all rated at the same power output. However, it is the design of the heater that determines whether it's going to be an efficient heater, whether it's going to heat up the space faster, or it's going to waste the energy just heating itself up. In this case, I think this heater is actually just wasting a lot of energy heating itself up, and it's not able to heat the bigger rooms fast enough. That is the reason that I'm going to return. So it says 200 to 300 square foot. In a closed room that's fairly small, you might be able to heat up a room, but it's still going to take a while. Okay, so that is the reason that I'm returning this heater. Again, after using 3 different kinds of heaters, my going back choice is still the Lasco ceramic heater that I reviewed not long ago. That heater is really well designed, and again, I'm not paid by any of those companies to advertise their product, only because that heater is the most efficient of all the heaters within the same power output range. Okay, so if you guys have any questions about this Lifesmart heater, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please do hit the like button or subscribe, and I will have more similar contents coming out for you guys. So maybe in the future I find another heater that's better than the Lasco, I'll definitely make a review to let you guys know about. Okay, so thank you, stay warm and take care.